What's going on, YouTube? It has been several months since our last show, but after a long hiatus, I would like to welcome you all back to Fighting Fire with Fire, the AJ Rose Show. So, obviously, as a Bostonian and a diehard sports fan, the main topic of today's show is going to be Game 2 of the Celtics-Heat Eastern Conference Finals that took place last night. The final score was 115-111 in favor of the Heat. Rajon Rondo submitted one of the best playoff performances I have ever watched. I started watching basketball in 2000 after Michael Jordan retired from the Bulls. So, of all the playoff games I've ever watched, only LeBron's performance in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals in 2007 against the Pistons, when he scored 48 points, including 25 in a row and 29 of his team's last 30, pretty much single-handedly beating the Pistons. That was a great defensive team. That is the only playoff performance that was better than what Rondo did last night. Rondo ended up with 44 points, 8 rebounds, and 10 assists. He hit 10 of his 12 free throws, knocked down almost every jump shot that he took. And by the way, that's the knock on Rondo's career, that he's never been a good jump shooter. Well, he flat out just was hot last night. He could not miss. He attacked the rim. He facilitated. He did everything he could to tie this series. Ray Allen, playing with bone spurs in his ankle, hit a huge three to tie the game at 99 with 30 seconds left. He had 13 points. Paul Pierce, coming off a really crappy Game 1 with a bum knee still that he hurt in Game 4 against Atlanta in the first round. He poured in 21 points. Kevin Garnett, who's been playing like he took a drink from the fountain of youth these entire playoffs, he put in 18. Even Keon Dooling and Michael Petras played pretty good for the Celtics off the bench. However, it was not enough to beat the Miami Heat because LeBron James and Dwayne Wade, as you would expect them to, played their butts off and kind of willed the Heat to this victory. However, the main topic in Boston is not how well the Celtics played, it's the officiating. The consensus here in Boston, and rather in the blogosphere and on the internet, is that the refs favored the Heat in this game. Now, this is not the first time the NBA has been involved with officiating controversy. In 2002, when the Lakers and Kings played Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals with the Kings leading 3-2, it seemed like the refs favored the Lakers. The Lakers shot a lot more free throws. They got the majority of the calls. A similar thing happened last night. The Celtics only shot 29 free throws as a team, whereas LeBron shot 24 free throws himself, which Doc Rivers pointed out after the game. And he said that the locker room was really messed up and that they were heartbroken, as they should be, because to me, just as a basketball analyst, not as a Boston sports fan, that looked like the end of the Big Three era, that loss. The Big Three being Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen, who have been together. This is the 5th year they've been together. They won a title. They got back to the finals in 2010. And this loss felt like they tried everything they possibly could. They played almost a perfect game, really, and they still couldn't beat the Heat. It had a tone of finality to it that saddens me as a Boston fan. Only one loss in the Big Three era hurt more than this loss, and that was, of course, Game 7 against the Lakers in the 2010 NBA Finals when they were a couple rebounds and a couple made shots away from a championship. That I will never forget. But this was pretty bad, especially for a Game 2 loss that didn't even end the series. This really hurt. The Celtics now go home with a chance to tie the series back up with wins at home in Games 3 and 4. The odds that they'll do that, not very good, because Rondo played all 53 minutes last night. Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce both played 43 minutes. Ray Allen played 45. It's very unlikely that they can fly home to Boston today, rest their tired legs, gather up the energy necessary to play a game tomorrow, and gather up the energy necessary not only to play, but to beat the Heat, who are going to be looking to end the series with a win in Game 3, because as we know, no team in NBA history has ever come back from down 3 games to none in a best-of-7 series. Excuse me. On the other hand, we also have the Western Conference Finals. That series is also 2-0 in favor of the San Antonio Spurs, who won their first 2 games at home in San Antonio convincingly over the Thunder. The Thunder got, I think, a combined 90 points between their 3 main scorers, Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, and James Harden, and they still lost by 9 points, 120-111 in Game 2. The Spurs, again, I started watching basketball in the year 2000. I have never seen a team that passes as well as this San Antonio Spurs team does. They might not be the most talented, but they all buy into this system and they all know their role. And a large amount of credit has to go to Greg Popovich, their head coach, who's looking to win his 5th title in combination with Tim Duncan. This would be their 5th title together, which would put them on the all-time list of NBA head coach and superstar duos. In fact, across all sports, even up there with Red Auerbach and Bill Russell, and Pat Riley and Magic Johnson, and Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, and the list goes on and on and on. The Spurs are probably, I would put them at probably 2-1 favorites to win the NBA title. I think that the only way that they don't win the title is if they get injured, or if LeBron James and Dwayne Wade, obviously they finish off the Boston Celtics, get to the finals, and then have 4 of the best games anybody's ever seen. It would take 7 games for them to beat the Spurs, and it would be a performance in a series to end. It would have to obliterate all the LeBron isn't clutch rumors. LeBron would have to hit like 2-game winners. They'd have to average 35 a game apiece, him and Wade. Bosh would have to come back and contribute off of his strained abdominal muscle. It would be a miracle. In short, I think the Spurs are your 2012 title winners because they're just a well-oiled machine, and they have 10 guys who they can play. They literally have a 10-man rotation, and Greg Popovich is too good a coach, and Duncan, Parker, and Ginobili, their big three, have played too many games together. They've played, I believe, 135 playoff games together. That's almost 2 regular seasons worth of playoff games, just to put that in perspective. So, in the end, I think the Spurs beat the Heat in 6 games to win the NBA championship. And as for the rest of the sports world, that's going to have to wait, because last night just made it so that I could not talk about anything else other than the NBA in this video. I'm sorry that I couldn't get to that. We'll get to the NBA draft and the fact that the New Orleans Hornets won the NBA draft and the other controversies that entails a different time. It's great to be back. Thank you for watching Fighting Fire with Fire, the AJ Rose Show. I'm AJ Rose, and I will see you guys next time.